Hey, how's everyone doing? I hope you're having a good day out there today. And in this video series, I'm going to talk a little bit more about Bitcoin education. What you're looking at here is a Bitcoin chart on the 4-hour chart, which means every bar that you see represents 4 hours in time of the price of Bitcoin. And you don't see the price in my screenshot. Let me move my screen over and you'll see that Bitcoin, it's right around 14.8 at the time I'm making this video. But in this particular video, what I want to go over with you today is just a little bit more about Bitcoin, just so you can get your head around it, you can grasp it a little better. And to do that, I'm going to pull out, see if I have some fiat currency in my wallet. I have a $5 bill with Abraham Lincoln on it. I have Andrew Jackson, $10, and I dropped $100 on the ground. I have a $100 bill. Anybody knows on the 100? Benjamin Franklin, $100 bill, and some ones here. That's fiat money. It's physical cash that you can just grab and spend. But most of us in our daily lives, we don't hardly use fiat currency in our everyday lives. So if you go to the grocery store, to a Kroger or HEB or a Randall's or whatever your grocery store is, and you walk in and you get your groceries, a lot of times you're just going to pull out your wallet, you're going to pull out your bank card or your debit card or a credit card or debit card, and you're either going to swipe the card or you're going to stick the card into a reader to read the digital chip, and it's going to ask you for a PIN, debit or credit. You know the routine, right? But what's actually happening there? When you stick that card into that machine, it's talking to the bank and it's saying, how much money does this person have in their account? Do they have the money in the account to cover the transaction? Your $52.99 worth of groceries, is that money there? And if it is, it's going to say transaction approved, or if there's something wrong, it's going to say transaction denied. But you're going to get the goods and services that you wanted to get without actually having to pull out this fiat currency. You're doing it digitally already, set up through your bank. That's what's happening. That is the evolution of money. Right now, the evolution of money has taken us from fiat currency to using these cards and carrying these cards around in wallets. But Bitcoin is another step. And also another step is things like Google Wallet, because in Google Wallet, I can double click my Google Wallet and my credit card is here, right on my Google Wallet. Another step in the evolution of money is virtual currency. That's what Bitcoin is. It's a virtual currency, which means it only exists in cyberspace. There is no Bitcoin fiat dollars. There's no government that backs Bitcoin. This $5 bill right here, it's backed by the United States government. Our government printed it. The Federal Reserve printed it. They regulate it. They regulate the circulating supply. But Bitcoin is a virtual currency that was created to be worldwide without any governments. There is a limited supply. That'll be more in the Bitcoin mining lesson on how many Bitcoins are released into circulation. But instead of you going down to Chase Bank and opening an account, or going to your credit union, or going to Wells Fargo, or going to Bank of America, you don't have to do any of that with Bitcoin. You just have to be on a Bitcoin exchange or have a Bitcoin app, because when you get the Bitcoin app, you get what's called your own personal address. And as long as you have a Bitcoin address, just like an email address, think of your email. If you want to email me, one of my emails that you can email me on is robertaguilar517@hotmail.com. So if you type that in, you can send me a message, right? You could type a message, send it to robertaguilar517@hotmail.com, and I could read what you want to say to me. That's what a Bitcoin wallet, that's what your address is, right? So it's a string of numbers. And with those string of numbers, I could say, I want to give you $5 US dollars worth of Bitcoin and send it to you. Well, all you have to do is know my Bitcoin address and send that Bitcoin directly to me. And I can do that to you as long as you're in the Bitcoin network and you have a Bitcoin address. I can send you Bitcoin and you can do the same to me with me. Who keeps track of all this stuff? If there's no banks, what's going on here? Well, the blockchain is keeping track of it. The moment you get in the network, you're part of this technology. You're part of this blockchain. And the miners, the people that are actually mining for Bitcoin, they are verifying our transactions. So if me and Joe Blow out there are making a transaction, I say I want to send Joe Blow $100 worth of Bitcoin, or it's broke down to Satoshi. I keep using US dollars because that's my fiat currency. Let me stop right here. The reason why we always translate Bitcoin into our fiat currency is because that's the way we're programmed. Since we were babies, all we know is this stuff. All we know is what our government told us, right? So if I say I have 0.0622021 Satoshi of Bitcoin, you have no idea what it is. But if I say I have $100 worth of Bitcoin, you know exactly what that is, man. That's $100. You got $100 worth of Bitcoin. But no, it's only $100 because somebody is willing to give me $100 for this amount of Bitcoin, 0.06222 or whatever. And you can look up the Bitcoin calculations there. To buy one full Bitcoin, it would cost me $14,800 at current market price to buy one full Bitcoin, but I don't have to buy one. I could buy a fraction. I could take that one Bitcoin and buy a $10 little piece of it and pull it out and say, I own $10 worth of Bitcoin. So this amount of Bitcoin, I can actually sell it for $10. But our minds are automatically going to translate to fiat currency because that's all we know. So just for a moment, just think, what if my mind can actually get rid of fiat? Canadian dollars, euros, right? Yen, Japanese yen, Mexican pesos. Out of your mind. And the only thing that existed was this Bitcoin as our money. Then we'd think totally different. And that's why this thing was created. It was created as another way to exchange value between individuals or entities. We can use this Bitcoin. So just going into these 8 minutes of this video, can you already see problems happening here? What's the number one problem? The number one problem is going to be the government. They're not going to let somebody come in and take hey, this is a government racket, my friend. The United States federal government, they tax us on it. They follow it. I can't take more than $10,000 out of my bank account without sending a red flag to the IRS. I can't send $10,000 from me to a guy in Saudi Arabia without the IRS or the federal government going, the hell you sending that over there for? Right? They're going to follow you. They want to know what you're doing with it. They want to know every move you make. Did you pay your taxes on it? Did you spend it? When you open a bank account, you got to pay to open your bank account. They charge you monthly fees to even hold your money in Wells Fargo. You go to the ATM, say, hey, I want to get some money out. Go to the casino and go to the ATM. There's a $3.95 charge. Do you agree to this charge? It's my money. But we're going to charge you to take your own money out. That is the fiat system. That system is the system of the dinosaurs. That system has now been shaken at its very foundation with the invention of cryptocurrencies. Crypto, in the electronic space, currencies. But because it's a worldwide phenomenon, we don't even have to speak the same language. You can be in Japan and I send you $5 worth of crypto or 5 Satoshi, right? And you can accept it. I don't even have to know your name. And the Japanese government and the Chinese government and the Indonesia government and the US government, none of their business. That's powerful. That's groundbreaking. That's mind-blowing. So what's going to be the government answer? You tell me. What do you think? Well, of course. Now the US first the US said Bitcoin's not real money. They ignored it. Then it started getting big. Now they're saying, hey, Bitcoin is money. We're seeing it as something of value. Now we want our taxes on it. They're making exchanges. They're making rules. They're making regulations. Somebody just got a 4-year prison sentence for trading cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, selling them on the open market because he was involved in counter-terrorist activity, doing something. They're making rules to make it harder for people to use this digital currency. They don't want me going to Best Buy and buying a stereo system and just pulling up an app and saying, here, I'm going to pay you in my digital currency, which is Bitcoin. But the bottom line is, it's a more efficient, smarter way to do money. Everything else in our life, we've had revolutions. From first we walked, then we invented the wheel, then we invented the automobile, then we invented helicopters and planes and jets, right? We're going Mach whatever now. Same thing with computers. We invented a big bulky computer that was just a calculator. Then we invented other computers. Now the computers are tiny in the advancement of it. But what about money? What about money? Where is the innovation in money? Where is the innovation in the ideas of money? That has never happened until now. This is a revolution. It's simple. You want to buy my car? Send me some cryptos. It's yours. I'll send you the title. You want to buy my couch? Just come over. Pull out your app. Let's put our phones together and send me $75 worth of Bitcoin. Transaction over with. You got something from value from me. I got something of value from you. I need to do a job for you, build you a website. I can pay you in Bitcoins. That is the worldwide phenomenon. And the blockchain is too deep to go into on a small video like this. I'll do other videos on blockchain technology, Bitcoin mining, okay? But this is just to get it in layman's terms. Why is it a game changer? Why is it so groundbreaking? What's going on with this thing? What is it? It's money. That's all it is. It's money that has not been programmed into you by the federal government. The federal government, remember, the federal government used to back the US dollar. Does anybody know by what? What used to be the backing of the US dollar? It used to be gold. It was called the gold standard. So the value of the dollar was based on the value of gold. The gold backed it up. But we took the dollar off of the gold standard, and now we back the US dollar up by the government. Strong. Government strong. A strong government. That's what backs the US dollar now. So our government gives the money its value, because these are just pieces of paper, right? But because our government gives it value, they back it, say, hey, we're the US government. We're the Federal Reserve. We say this money is worth whatever we say it's worth. Now, the problem is that they have the printing press, the US government, and they can print more of it whenever they want. They can take some of it out and halt the supply. And they do that periodically. But one thing our government always does, when it's time for them to spend the money, they always have it. They have no budget. They have a debt ceiling that is not a ceiling. That's a fake term. And every time they run out of money and say, oh, we ain't got no more money to spend, they raise the ceiling. They raise the limit. Well, we're out of money. They raise it again. Well, we're out of money again. Go back and look at history. Our national debt is 25 trillion or more. Trillion, that's with a T. Can you even do the math on the trillion? Can you even count that out? Count $1 trillion out. 25 trillion. That's the debt that our government is in. So the government is saying, hey, your money's still worth something. Even though we're 25 trillion in debt that we can't pay back, we're never going to pay it back. But hey, we're still the US government. This system cannot go on forever the way it's going. The government has a credit card. That's what it is. The debt ceiling, it's a credit card that never ends. You never have to pay it back, and you just keep raising the limit. Well, what's going to eventually happen? The money's not going to be worth anything. So that's where we are. There's nation after nation out there. They're scrambling to figure out what to do about Bitcoin. Okay? And every government is making different rules on how they're going to handle Bitcoin. And the truth is, the governments can't stop it because it's virtual. You have to shut the internet down to do something like that. But they're going to make it difficult. They're going to throw salt in the game. They're going to throw monkey wrenches in it to try just to trip you up with it, right? Because this space is evolving. Listen, we're in the infancy. You're going to go back and look at these videos right here and be like, look at this guy, Robert, on YouTube back in 2018 talking about Bitcoin. Because in 50 years, this thing will done evolve. You know, they'll probably have a microchip in our eyeball or something. Who knows, right? But this is the beginning. We're on the ground floor. That's why it's an exciting time. And it doesn't cost you anything to learn about it. It's just education. It's just educating yourself. Because you only know what others teach you. And we all went to school, we all went to our classes, and we said Pledge of Allegiance, and they told us what money is, and the U.S. government and all that. But what if there's a better system? What if there's a better way? What if there's a better currency? What if there's a more efficient blockchain, a more efficient way to use money? What if we didn't need Wells Fargo? What if I didn't need to walk into Bank of America and sit down and pull up at the desk and go, how you doing, sir? Yeah, how can I help you? Well, I need to open an account. You need to open an account? Well, what for? Let us mortgage your house and let us mortgage your car. And, yeah, just sign right here, you know. These are our interest rate payments and blah, 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 blah. For what? Do they even have your money in the bank? How much money is actually kept in the bank that where you bank at? It's all just numbers on a computer screen. That's all it is. And they set the system up so you'll be a part of it. You create jobs. You create an economy. The lady at the teller at the desk. The lady giving you a loan. The president of the bank, right? It's all jobs. We've all created something for us to do in society, when in actuality, all I got to do is walk up to you and send you some money myself and keep the money on my own cloud storage. Keep my own money on my own cold storage crypto space. It's exciting times. That's only a smidget of how deep this thing is, okay? It's just a smidget. But in a nutshell, that's what it is. It's a virtual way, digital way to pay you. You can call it cryptos, you can call it credits, you can call it Bitcoin, bytes, bits, whatever you want to call it. But it's taking money and putting it into the digital space. And once you do that, it's going to be more simplified, it's going to be more straightforward, and it's going to give us more control over our own lives. I'll see you in the next video.